Welcome everyone at a new interview, but of course before we start the interview I'm going to make someone very happy. I have all the names for the people that wanted to win the lucky Steam key of this month, and I'm going to pick one of the names and it's going to be this one. So the winner of the Steam key is Jet Talbi. I hope I pronounced the name correct. Have fun with the game. I played it a couple of weeks ago, but it was really fun to play. It is a different kind of game. I'm going to figure out a lot about the story behind it with this interview. You will figure out that this game is very story driven. We were talking a bit about the story, but also about the struggles. And this is the first time I'm interviewing a developer from Saudi Arabia, so I'm very excited to hear her experiences about how it is to make a game in that region and how it is to even succeed in the indie market. So without further ado, just tune in the interview and enjoy. So I'm always curious with these kind of games, like how does it start, right? So the culture is very important in this game. And then we also have the genre, like the puzzle adventure thing that kind of feels like a Metroidvania, but you don't know yet what it is. But was that first, or was it first that you want to implement the culture in your game?
Yeah, so the story behind developing this game was kind of interesting because it wasn't even intentional, by the way. At the beginning, it was only like we were focusing only on the swimming mechanic to deliver a very good underwater experience. That the swimming mechanic feels already good and fun to play without even only with swimming around, without doing anything else. So we were focusing on delivering this very good fluid and smooth swimming mechanic. And then one of our team members were actually very fan of mythologies in general. And she mentioned there is like a creature called Bahamut, which is like an underwater mythology. So we can use it as a name, as a placeholder. So we felt like, okay, let's use Bahamut as a placeholder name for now. But we weren't even knowing anything about this mythology, nothing really. It was just a placeholder.
So you, as yourself, you were totally blind as well about the story before you dive into it?
That's the ironic part, yes. We are Arab and we have no idea about this Arabian mythology, because when you think about Arabian mythology in general, probably comes to your mind Sindbad, Aladdin, and those famous stories, while there are actually a lot of other stories that no one knows about them, even ourselves, even as Arab, we don't know about them. So we felt like, okay, let's at the beginning use it as a placeholder, and then during the development of our game, we started to dig deeper into the mythology and the story and everything. And we figured out that, that's actually a gap that we can fill. It's a very interesting story that we can represent it as something new, something unique to the global gaming market. It was our chance to really focus on this cultural aspect and deliver it as it deserves.
And you didn't know yet the Bahamut story, but what brought you to really push for that story?
When we started to dig deeper into this mythology and we noticed that really no one knows about this mythology, we felt like, no, it's actually our chance to show the world that we have Arabian mythology, that we have culture, especially that we noticed that the Arabian mythical creatures that we are using in the game were actually represented in many other famous games, but not the actual mythologies. For example, Bahamut has been featured in Final Fantasy and Dungeons and Dragons as a dragon and as a Japanese mythology. The actual origin of this creature is Arabian. That's not even a dragon. It's a huge whale that carries the whole earth on his back. That's the actual mythology. So we felt like, no, we should correct the image. We're not trying to make Final Fantasy look bad, but we're trying to correct the image here that we should show the story as it deserves, the way how we can actually represent it with the correct way, and show the world that this mythology is Arabian and Middle Eastern, and this is the original story of this mythology, I would say. So we felt like that's actually a new perspective that we can deliver to the global gaming market. We started to see a lot of good feedback. Actually, at the beginning, we were a bit concerned that how are we going to deliver this Arabian mythology, local content to the globe. But then when we started to like showcase the game all over the world, participating in global events, we noticed that people are actually very interested to know about Arabian mythology because it's something new, it's something unique they didn't see before. There's a lot of games that are inspired by Greek mythology, Japanese mythology, but no one is actually speaking about Arabian mythology. That's really the gap, and this is the chance for us to deliver a new perspective to the global gaming market.
Nice. Oh, that's really cool. Okay.
Yeah.
And how long did you work on this game?
So overall, the development life cycle took around 3 years. From the day we started working on Bahamut till the final day, it was around 3 years. However, the game went through a lot of ups and downs. We pivoted the game direction 3 times. Like at the beginning, the game was supposed to be an action-adventure game. Like it's completely different from what you're seeing right now. It was an action-adventure game full of enemies, combat, fighting system, boss fights, and a lot of, like, I would say, gameplay heavy.
And that was not yet influenced by anything about the Bahamut story, right?
There was, but not that much, I would say. There was only like in the art, but there was no like story aligned with the gameplay at all. After we started like developing the action adventure game, we started to look at the game as it's not really the experience that we want to deliver. We scoped down and we switched it to be a Metroidvania. That's the second direction, the new pivot. And then again, we lost control over the scope again. So it's like literally 101 game development, you know?
Oh, that's why the platform feel of the thing, it's hard because in my mind it feels very Metroidvania-like, but it's not.
Yeah.
So there are
Yeah,
those
because
elements
it was,
also from.
yeah,
Ah,
it was
okay.
some Metroidvania element. And then after that, we started to say like, okay, guys, let's focus on our strengths. We are losing budget. We are losing timeline. We're literally we started to lose control over a lot of things. So we felt like let's focus on our strength. Our strength was mainly on the narrative. We have a very strong story to tell, and we have a very good and stunning visuals. So let's deliver a somehow good visual experience underwater that focuses on the narrative. So the game turned out to be like a puzzle adventure, narrative-driven game. So it's somehow like a relaxing, atmospheric kind of experience, which is like completely different from the first direction that we started with. The overall development took 3 years. However, the last direction that you are seeing right now took around like one year and a half.
Yeah, okay. And if you say that, oh, you changed your way of working or the game, was that because you reached out to publishers and they gave feedback and then you came back to the table and were like, wait a minute, this is not working? Was that the reason?
Yes. We have received too many feedbacks. Since the day we started Bahamut, we have participated in multiple accelerators and incubators throughout like the last 3 years. So like in each incubator or accelerator program, there were like some mentors giving us feedback on the gameplay and the production, the business side, like everything. We started to receive a lot of feedbacks, which affected the overall development of Bahamut. Every time like we receive a feedback, we pivot. And we felt like, yeah, okay, that's actually the right direction. And then we receive another feedback and we pivot again and so on. So I think that was, I would say, one of the challenging parts that we have been facing. The many accelerator and incubator programs that we have been in a little bit confused us in the mentorship, you know, because we were receiving too many feedbacks. I think we should have been filtering the feedbacks before like starting implementing, you know. But overall, I feel like I'm glad that we pivoted to the final direction right now because it's like completely different from the first direction and it's way much better, honestly speaking.
So you got so much feedback. So it was kind of feedback loop because you say like, oh, we listened to everything and we were a bit unfocused. Like, how would you redo that process? Like, if you receive feedback, like what would be your tactic now to listen to it?
So my advice for anyone would be experiencing the same thing. I would say any feedback that you are getting from any mentor, we value them all. But after all, you need to look at this feedback. Would you be able to do it? Do you have the capabilities? Do you have the budget for it? Do you have the enough timeline to implement it? Does that really, I would say, deliver the vision that you are imagining on this game or not? So I think that will be a bit challenging for junior developers that are just starting in the industry, because they feel like all the feedbacks are valuable and they want to take them all. Because you won't be in a luxury position that you can actually distinguish which feedback are the best for you, right?
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
I think that thing needs to be considered at the beginning. Whenever you receive any feedback, try to filter it, measure it with yourself, with your team. Can you really afford doing this feedback or not? Or you can just stick to it, to what you are currently working on.
And then, of course, I like to ask the question, what was the... let's first start with the negative. So what was the feedback that you were afterwards, you dived into it and you were like, oh my gosh, this was such a wrong one to take serious?
None of the feedback, I think, was completely wrong. Maybe not the suitable feedback to take. I don't want to say feedback. My mentors will hate me for it. I don't want to say names. I don't want to mention specific feedback.
Okay.
But I think it wasn't about specific feedback, more than the too many feedback that we were getting were confusing us in delivering the direction or the vision that we are imagining on the game.
Then I want to, of course, ask the opposite, right? Which feedback was just so important for the direction of the game now?
Well, I think one of the feedback was in the production. When we pivoted to the Metroidvania direction, we started to experience a feature creep. We started to put a lot of features, and one of our mentors were saying, guys, you just can't deliver all of that in the specific timeline that we have defined. We insisted in having those features because we wanted them. However, I think that was one of the valuable feedback that made us actually switch to the final direction, which is the puzzle adventure game. You can see very minimalistic features. There's no much features. However, we build a lot of things around those many features. Now you're seeing only the speed boost mechanic, the shining ability, and the drawing mechanic, but you can do a lot of things. And I think that was one of the smartest decisions we have taken.
And then you also mentioned that you had incubator programs, and that you even say more than one, So
yeah.
How did you revel into that world of incubator?
Let me give you a backstory for myself. I started game development since back in 2013, where there was no gaming industry back then in my region. There was nothing. There were few game developers, but you have no idea where to find them. But then I developed a couple of games during my college years, but I wanted to graduate and build my own studio. There was no support, there was no gaming industry, so I had to work on a very boring job. I was working as a project manager in a tech company, very boring job, nothing related to what I really wanted. So I tried to open my studio during my job, but I couldn't. My job was taking a huge part of my time and effort. Then at one day, the first accelerator launched in Saudi Arabia, in my country. It was the first incubator program specifically for gaming. It was the perfect timing for me. I said, this is it. It's time to do it. I literally went to my boss, quit my job to start.
Really?
Yes. I literally went to my boss.
13 or 14 or?
It was back in 2000 and around 19 or 2020.
Oh, wow. And you quit your job for it as well?
Yeah, I quit my job and I went to my parents, told them, hey, I quit my job and I'm moving to Riyadh because I'm originally from Jeddah. I want to relocate to Riyadh to start the business. So it was a surprising thing for my parents because there is no guarantees, nothing. I looked at my bank account and I collected my savings. Felt okay, can I survive for 1 year? Yes, I can. Okay, let's go. So I just told my parents, just give me 1 year, and if it didn't work out, I'll just come back. And since then, I never came back, by the way.
Nice, well done.
So I'm settled in Riyadh right now. I started the business and I joined this accelerator program. All what I had in mind, I was trying to compensate all the years that I've been wasting without working on game development. So I joined this accelerator program. I finished this accelerator program. I moved to another accelerator program. Like the first accelerator program was like around 1 year long. And then there was another program called Game BCN. It's an incubator program from Spain. Joined that program. I finished it. I moved to another accelerator program, Game Founders, which is also like a global accelerator. I finished that accelerator. I moved to another accelerator. So we got invested by NEOM, if you know NEOM, like the futuristic city of Saudi Arabia.
Oh, yes. I thought I needed to know the incubator name, but no, okay, the city. Yes.
Yeah, the line city.
Yeah.
So we got invested by NEOM. That was the last program that I've been a part of. All what I've been thinking is that I wanted to accelerate my business as fast as I can. And I wanted to learn as much as I can, collect as much knowledge as I can, because I feel like I wasted a lot of time. I wanted to work on game development, but I couldn't. And now it's my chance, and I feel now more empowered with all the support that I'm getting. It was a bit tough, however, it was very enjoyable journey in general.
So you really went into I'm just going to do this, whatever comes to me, I'm just going to battle. It was your battle, basically, if I hear this correctly.
Yeah, exactly. Especially that you sacrificed a lot of things. Right? Like I quit my highly paid job. It was a highly paid job in a very good company with a very good, everything was very good. But I had to sacrifice that. So literally now have nothing to do but to focus on game development. That's why I was jumping from one accelerator to another, trying to catch up, in gaming, in the gaming industry.
That's very impressive. And with your journey, if I hear this correctly, you started on your own and then you found people, or how did you, because you didn't do it on your own, right? It's a studio behind.
Oh, no. Yeah, absolutely. I already have my co-founder, which I met in the first incubator program. So the incubator program, the first one was basically like an apprenticeship program. And by the end of it, you start your own studio. You get to choose the people that you want to start your company with. Okay. So I met my co-founders over there and we started together. I wasn't on my own. There was my co-founder, my partner in crime.
And your partner in crime is also from Arabia? Or was it online? Or I don't know. Was the program online or was it?
No, it was in person. It was in person in Saudi Arabia. It was also operating by DigiPen Institute of Technology. It was in Saudi, specifically Riyadh, where I met my co-founders there, and we started from there.
Oh wow! What an exciting journey!
Yeah.
And how big is the studio now?
Currently, we are 13. We're literally from all over the globe. We're working completely remotely, where we're dealing with around 5 different time zones. We have members from France, Morocco, Pakistan, Germany, Qatar, and a couple of members from Saudi as well. So literally, we're all over the world. Wow. So we're a multinational team.
And before this, you worked at a company, most likely 9 to 6, I guess. I don't know your time hours in Arabia. But and then you went from a company culture to a remote culture. How was that? What were the big changes with that? I mean, there were already a lot of changes, but also working remote, right?
Well, we have been always remote, by the way. At the beginning, when we were part of the accelerators programs, they were having some co-working spaces during the program. Right? So we were working the Saudi members were working from the co-working spaces. However, once we have finished all the programs, now we started to expand, right? When we started to expand, we started to hire from all over the world. It doesn't really matter your nationality, where are you from. It doesn't really matter as long as you fit the culture, you fit the environment and the overall dynamic of the team. Then we're good to go. Then after we are done with all the accelerators, now we're working from home, basically.
Yeah.
We thought about like having an office, honestly, but I literally asked the team, if there was an office, would you really be working from the office? Will you like come every day to the office working? They said no.
No.
Then I felt like, okay, that's
Fair
even
enough.
low cost for me. That's good.
Yes, exactly. Okay. And what is exactly like your role at the beginning? Also the programming, right, and the design, or like is your role in the company?
At my early stages, I was working as a programmer before I even like started the company. I started as a programmer, and then I switched to game design, which I really liked it. I felt like that fits me way much more than programming. And then I became a game producer because of my background in project management and my IT major as well. So it was helping me a lot in managing projects in general. So I became a producer and I started to feel very good about it. It fits me even more than design. And then I basically become a CEO.
Nice.
now working on the very boring job, just focusing on the business. I'm not even getting involved that much with the creative process and everything.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm also being the executive producer. So trying to like manage the overall development like from far away.
Okay, but in the beginning it was your baby, so you needed to give your baby away. That must be very scary.
Oh, believe me, I was a control freak, by the way. like I was literally a control freak. Nothing can pass unless it runs through me. Right? I need to check everything. Like I need to have control over everything. But then I realized that no, that doesn't work. I need to trust my team, and even I started to like getting feedback from my co-founders as well. Like, hey, you need to trust us. You should not do that. So I felt like, okay, let's do that. I'll trust the team for the first time, and then it worked out.
Oh, that's nice. How long was the period? Like, was it like a year? Was it like longer? I mean, I guess the realization that you were a control freak comes a bit later.
I think I took like maybe around 1 year being a control freak. And then like after that I started to realize that this doesn't work, especially with the expansion. Like we started to hire a lot of people as well that they can take care of things where I don't have to even work closely with them. That started to disappear gradually. And I also started to even trust the team even more, and I feel like that's actually one of the key factors, that you empower the team, trust them with the creative process. The more they can feel empowered, the more they can deliver a better quality,
Yes.
What I started to learn like overall throughout like my journey, I realized that all what I've been doing was completely wrong, and I'm glad. I'm glad to see like the team is now being empowered and they can do like whatever they want without even like getting back to me, right?
Yeah. So was there a kind of a conflict moment that was the realization, or was it more like you realized like, wait a minute? I hear you saying it's a bit of a breakthrough, right? That you started to see what was happening and how you could develop yourself.
Like at the beginning, when I started to like control everything, I noticed that I'm being like somehow kind of a bottleneck for the team, right? They can't do anything until like they get approval or something, which I started to see like it is affecting the overall development lifecycle. It is affecting the overall creative process and everything. Once I noticed that that kind of like bad influence, I started to like really give myself a chance to trust my team, even though I still don't feel it like from the inside, but I had to give myself a chance. Once I did that, it was fine. I think I was just harsh on myself, but once I started to lose things or like give myself a chance, it turned out even way much better.
Oh, that's beautiful. I mean, that's such a growth moment, and also like the realization.
Absolutely.
So your studio is named Starvania. Like, where does the name come from? Is that was your thought, or that was together with the other CAO?
When we started to try to find a name for the company, we didn't have a name, obviously, at the beginning. We started to like brainstorming for the name. Like, remember one member that told us about the mythology of Bahamut? He's the same member that also helped us in figuring out the name of the company. Like, I'm personally fan of like space. in general. I love galaxy. I love space. Like my dream is to fly over the moon. Like I really want to do that.
Okay.
I want to live in Mars. You know.
It's hard.
So yeah, I'm a fan of the space theme in general. One of our team members also love like stars. She also loves the space and particularly stars in general. And she loves the Metroidvania type of games. She basically combined Star with the Vania. She created a name and she suggested it. Said, how about Starvania, like a combination between Star and Vania? And we all liked it. And it just came this way. Like it was nothing intentional. There was no meaning behind it, nothing. By the way, we started to like build the overall vision of the company around the name. So basically, like we started to see Starvania as a planet, and we are the Starvanians. We are the Starvania citizens. We are the Starvanians of this planet, and the vision of Starvania is to go beyond the horizon.
Oh wow,
like,
that's so beautiful.
But what do we really mean by beyond the horizon? Do you know that feeling when you finish a game or a movie? It's called like post-game or post-movie depression.
Yes.
Yeah, you feel so happy that you have finished a good experience, but at the same time, you feel sad and empty that you have finished it, and you feel like, so what now? Now you need more, but there is actually no more. That's exactly what we mean by the horizon. The horizon here is the game itself. That's what you are seeing immediately. And what's beyond that, we believe in creating a rich entertainment experiences that can be used with different entertainment mediums. As a long-term vision, we don't want to only make games. We want to grow our IP by building like comics, animation series, merchandise to support the game itself. And this is how we really want to build like a complete and extended entertainment experiences through the games that we make. So that's basically the meaning of beyond the horizon.
Oh.
We believe in going beyond the horizon.
Oh, that's super exciting. So
Yeah.
and then you want to focus on the Bahamut story, or just the Arabic culture, or like do you already, because you were saying you want to create more stuff, but the vision is Arabic, or more like we are going to find our Starvanian thoughts? I don't know. That's
No, actually, we're not focusing on Arabian mythology specific or Bahamut specifically. We believe in building fantasy universes in general. Fantasy universes that are being like out of sight from another perspective that no one knows about, to be like filled with thoughtfulness and inspiring concepts. So once we started creating like Bahamut, it was literally checking all the boxes that we wanted for the experience to be delivered, like a fantasy universe. No one knows about this like story or this whole universe, and it's also like it has a message behind it. It's inspiring and has depth and thoughtful. That's the type of experience that we want to build. It doesn't really matter whether like another Arabian mythology on the next title or like another Bahamut. Nothing really, but the idea is that the depth that we put into our content helps us to represent it with diverse entertainment mediums.
Okay, so are you now working on such a thing, or are you working on a new game, or are you working on DLC, or are you working on bug testing? Because the game just came out, so I'm just wondering, like, what are you doing right now?
That's a very good question. So now we have launched Bahamut and the Waqwaq 3 on PC. Should also come out to PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo, like around 2 months from now, around August, or like generally the third quarter. We are aiming for that. We're still like working on the porting process for Bahamut. On the other side, we already started working on our next title. Even before the release of Bahamut, we already started prototyping. And we're currently pre-production, trying to like figure out all the game elements. We have somehow a clear idea of what the next title would be. So we started. However, the team is being like divided into like doing some updates for Bahamut, fixing some bugs, some issues and whatnot. And the other group is already working on our next title. So that's what we're currently focusing on.
Are you self-published, or did you find a publisher, by the way?
Yeah, we have signed a publishing deal.
Yeah.
They are called Soft Source. They're a publisher from Singapore. And they're like literally taking care of everything, marketing, localization, QA, and also they're helping us with the porting as well.
So you're published by Soft Source, right? But like the other project, is that also like already publishing talks with them or with others because it's a different medium maybe, or?
No, not yet, actually, as we're still in the pre-production phase, so we don't have like a demo that we can confidently show to the publisher. We should be having a very clear vision, or at least like I would say a pitch deck that we can share with the publisher like a few months from now.
I think at the beginning it was very hard to find a publisher. Like, do you have some tips for other indie developers who want to find a publisher, and what kind of advice that you would give yourself basically as well?
Well, yeah, it was a bit tough, honestly speaking. It was a bit challenging to find a publisher at the beginning, even though like we traveled all around the world. Like we have been in DevCom and Gamescom multiple times. We have been in GDC multiple times. We have been in PGC, like from Dubai, London, San Francisco, and even like Jordan. So we have been in a lot of like global gaming events reaching out for publishers, but it was still challenging to like land on like an actual deal, you know, that you can work with. I think what helped us a lot was the award that we have during DevCon. So during DevCon, it was a global award for us, like winning the best graphics, the graphics galore at DevCon on 2024. Like right after that, I literally met with around 17 publishers. Right after that.
Okay.
You can imagine how the award really affected like the overall reputation and perception of the game. I think there was like a bit challenging from the publisher's perspective because we are like Saudi developers. The industry are still growing. They didn't see like much of successful story from our country. We're just starting. We're literally the first batch of game developers from our country. And this is the first game that they see like related to Arabian mythology and from a Saudi developer. So it was a bit challenging to convince publishers, you know? And honestly speaking, all the rest of the directions for the game, like the previous directions, wasn't convincing the publishers enough to sign a publishing deal. However, once we pivoted to the final direction, the perception has been changed completely over our game, especially after we won the Graphics Galore award. A lot of people and publishers started to feel even more interested to collaborate with us, right? It was like a big moment for us that changed the overall scenario for the game and the studio, you know?
That was not the first award show that you did, right?
At the actual award, yes, it was the first award. However, we got nominated in a couple of awards locally, but we had another award for the studio, but not for the game, which is the best game startup award in the MENA region.
Oh, congrats. I didn't know that.
Thank you so much.
There are so many different competitions in the world, and that's why I was like, oh, maybe if you encounter different ones that you feel that the one in DevCon is different, for example. But that is just an assumption at this moment, so we cannot really say something about that. But I know personally that DevCon, it's a bit harder to get in because it's such a big show, right? So
true, absolutely. Yeah, it was a huge recognition for us that I was very proud to get it. And I remember when I received the award in DevCon, they were saying you guys are the first developer to be part of DevCon that are being from Saudi Arabia. It was a very proud moment for me at that time because I felt like this achievement wasn't only like an achievement for me specifically or the studio, more than it was for the entire industry in Saudi Arabia, you know, that we started to reach the globe and even like compete globally.
Yeah, I noticed that on LinkedIn, right? There were also people from that region that really stand like, oh, I'm super proud of this game because it's from my region, right?
Yeah.
I just randomly saw it, so I guess that also that nationalistic feel for like, oh, we have a studio here and it's successful. That is also flooding like positivity, I guess. Yeah, absolutely. And I can see that it started to change the narrative, like the stereotype around the Saudi developers, that they are still not experienced enough. They don't deliver high quality games, or maybe they can't compete globally. However, I feel like that award proved a lot of people wrong. And it started to change the narrative that, no, we actually have capabilities, we have talents, and we can deliver high quality games to be competed like globally. Yeah, because I don't really know another game from Arabia, to be honest. Like, can you name some that we maybe know some more?
Yeah, absolutely. There is a lot actually. Even like with the support that is coming right now in the country, with all the incubator and accelerators program, there are a lot of other studios has launched in Saudi Arabia and the MENA region specifically. But Saudi Arabia specifically, there was a lot of developers.
So basically, these other developers, did they like inspire you or influence your way of doing game design or like setting up a studio?
The other developers in
Yes.
our region, you mean?
Yes.
Well, absolutely. I would say it happened in an indirect way, I would say. As I mentioned before, we were the first batch of game developers in Saudi. We're literally the first group of people that are launching their studio in Saudi Arabia. I feel like there was a lot of, like, I would say responsibility and pressure on Starvania specifically, because a lot of like the junior developers are looking up to us. We needed to, like, I would say, raise the bar for them so that they can also deliver the same quality as we deliver. So there was like some pressure from our side that we need to do good so that we can inspire the next generation of the gaming studios that are just launching in Saudi. You know.
Wow, that's an extra responsibility that you have there.
Yeah, I mean, especially after we won the best game startup award in the MENA region, that was just like all the eyes are on us. We're on the spotlight. Everyone is looking up to us that we need to do good, you know? We don't have a chance to fail. We need to do good so that we can like inspire all the next generation.
And now that you kind of have this moment, I noticed that some company owners, they go to a lot of events during this period, and then afterwards they will just, not go so often anymore. Is that also your plan, or are you going to be at a lot of events, like getting new deals or whatsoever? What's your thought about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Traveling will always be continuous. We won't be stopping because you will be finishing a game, you're moving to another game, you'll start to find like other opportunities. You finish that game and you start another game and finding new opportunities. So the circle keeps moving. Now we're done with all the, like, I would say, chasing opportunity part for Bahamut. I'll basically do the same thing with the next title. So we actually have a couple of events that we're planning to go this year, including Gamescom as well. So probably we'll see you there.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. And also we're planning to go for the first time to Japan this year.
Ooh.
So we're planning for Bit Summit.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, so there are a couple of events that we're planning for this year, and also it will be including like finding opportunity for the next title, and also showcasing Bahamut as well at the same time.
And would you say that without this traveling, it was almost impossible to really get your game out, if I hear this correctly?
Not really, actually. Like from our side, we were just trying to get exposed as much as possible, trying to connect with a lot of industry professionals for our like personal knowledge and experience in the gaming business in general, but also to see the quality of the global market, so that we can do the same as well. Finding opportunities, like even if I don't travel, I think it's still doable. However, we were just doing the extra. We're going the extra miles for our studio. But you can always like meet people remotely, as we're just doing right now. We have already done that before we even have like budget, before we even like have financial support. We were doing that, like meeting with some industry professionals from outside, like meet with them remotely. But now, since we have the chance to like pay our travel expenses and like even meet those people in person, that's even much better. It makes a huge difference when you meet people in person, right?
Yeah, I agree. It's just more like because some people are listening and starting, and they are like, oh, my budget is low, right? So also
absolutely
to know your thought about that. So yeah, for the starters, like what would be your most practical or like the most valuable advice for starters to start an indie studio or start their dream?
I think most of the new developers, the most mistake that they will be falling into are scoping the project. Usually when the developers are just starting, they want to do the game of their dreams, right? And they are so passionate about what they are doing, and they feel empowered now to really create what they have always been dreaming of. So they put literally everything in the game, that they want to have, and then they will be facing a lot of like challenges as we have faced previously, like what happened with us specifically at the beginning. We scoped the project very big, and we were so ambitious. We wanted to put everything, and we started to realize, no, that actually doesn't work this way. So we started to scope down. Maybe my advice would be, for your first project, as you're just starting, please don't go crazy. Try to do as small as possible. Fail fast, learn from your mistake, and move on to the next project. Don't spend a lot of time on a very big project that you might not pull it off like together very perfectly, and you will lose budget, you will lose time, you will lose like a lot of things. You will lose control over the project in general. So try to make small games at the beginning. If there was some challenging, learn from it, fail fast, and move on. Just get a game out there so you can at least learn the overall development life cycle from a small game, so you can have the luxury afterwards to really pick like what type of games that you want to do next, right?
Yeah, I think that's always very good, and it's also, directed also with your experience of like overscoping.
Yeah.
That's always interesting. So for the next projects, are they going to be bigger or smaller though?
Well, I can't expose much. I can't share much on the next title. However, it will be a little bit bigger than Bahamut. It will be like completely different experience from what you are seeing in Bahamut. But the good thing, because we have developed Bahamut, so there will be some similar systems that we can reuse,
Yeah.
So now we have the luxury to scope a little bit bigger than Bahamut, because we will be using a lot of tools, systems that we already have, which will like shortcut to the overall timeline.
Then we go back to like you won the art prize, right? Will it also like be similar art style?
So from the art side, I can assure you that it will be nice. It will be a very good like visuals. However, it won't be the same art direction at all. It's like completely different theme, completely different universe. It's not underwater. I'm personally very excited for it. It also touches some of the things that I personally like. That's a small hint.
Mm-hmm.
If you know, you know.
Oh,
But I won't share it. You got it.
Maybe.
I don't know, maybe. I mean, since we pivoted the game direction 3 times in Bahamut, who knows? We might even pivot this.
Exactly.
This game.
You never know what is going to
Yeah,
happen.
you never know.
And will it be with the same publisher? That's something I hear. Like some people stay with their publisher, and some people are also trying to find new publishers.
Well, I think it really depends on the opportunity that we will be getting for all. I think we will be reaching out to a different publisher because we want to explore new opportunities. We want to explore new market, and also like the genre of the game is completely different from the portfolio of the publisher.
As I hear this, you're so hardworking. I can hear that in all what you're saying. But are you also playing games? Are you playing games by yourself?
That's a tough question, Nadinda. I'm sorry to tell you, that's the penalty of developing games. You will actually, if you develop games, you will actually stop playing games, or you will stop enjoying games. Like for me, I barely can find time to play games nowadays. And even when I find time, when I start playing games, I start to like really analyzing the mechanics, like trying to test the features, trying to like observe everything that is happening in the game. I'm not really enjoying as a regular gamer like before,
Yeah, I understand that.
Which is like a bummer, I would say. However, I'm now trying my best to get back to gaming, playing like as a regular human being. And yeah, I started playing some games, but it's just about the timing. The time is just so limited, especially that now like the team started to be bigger, and now we have like bigger responsibilities as well. And I'm like handling all the boring stuff, but I'm trying my best to get back.
Okay. And so the team is also going to grow, because we talked about it, there were 13 people, but it's going to also grow the studio?
Yes. We're planning for expansion around like the next few months, where the team will be almost the double. Yeah, currently we're 13 and we're planning to like hire around maybe like around 7 to 10 new members, because like we have some business plans to work on different titles at the same time, focusing on PC and consoles game specifically. So we think that PC and consoles game takes so much time. Like it doesn't take less than 2 years and a half or 3 years minimum if you really want to deliver a good game, right? Unlike the mobile games, you can finish a mobile game in 1 year. So you can start working on different projects within like each year you can release a game, right? But that's not the case with PC and consoles. So our strategy is to work on 2 titles at the same time. So at least by 3 years from now, we can at least have already 3 games or 2 games in the market.
I hear something like, oh, you're also talking about mobile phone games. Are you also diving into that, or do you have experience with that?
We're mainly focusing on PC and consoles only for now. However, we have some side projects that we started very early on, but we just put it on the shelf. We didn't continue it. So now we're thinking to get back to it and maybe have like a designated team only for mobile to finish that project so that they can move to the actual next title. But we have some plans to work on some mobile games as well. But the main focus is PC and consoles.
I mean, it's a bit hard to say it now, but maybe with your experience, like how is it different to launch something on a mobile phone and on for like the PC or console?
It's completely different. It's completely different model. It's completely different even development life cycle. It's a completely different market. We are more, I would say, experienced in PC and consoles. That's why one of our expansion plan is to have specific members that are experts in mobile in general, so that they can help us figure out like what should we do over this game in terms of like monetization and the overall business model.
Yeah, I mean, I hear often a developer say, I don't want to do mobile phone because you need to keep it up to date, and it's total different way of getting earnings. It's even more flooded market than compared to the others.
Yeah, it's a very competitive market. It's a huge market, and it will take a lot just to stand out. So that's why like we prefer also to focus on PC and consoles, not only because we are experienced there, but we also love to develop games that we personally like to play. You know, and none of us is a mobile gamer.
Okay, yes. And you are going to start to play again. That's what I hear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, PC and consoles as well.
Yeah.
Not mobile at all.
Nice. Okay, wow. We covered a lot in all different areas. So are there some elements that you are like, oh, we have not yet shared this and I really want to get this off my chest?
I think I need some time in this question. Let me think.
Yes, and I can drink.
Just mention like, please support the game. Get the game. It's already on Steam. You can buy it. Write us a review and those kind of stuff. But other than that, I don't think there is anything that I would still share.
Well, you say like, oh, leave a review. Is that something with that you seen when people are giving reviews, that it really influenced the Steam thing, or is that not something that you notice?
Yeah, absolutely. Like the bigger number of reviews that you are getting on Steam, the higher chances that your Steam will actually pop up or being featured on the Steam page. So yes, that's definitely one of our goals. Currently, our goal is to at least reach 100 reviews at the moment, because currently it is, by the way, 100 very positive, which is very cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, and we're already on the top 10 trending, so that's nice. So we're aiming for like 100 reviews for now, so that it can help the exposure for the game as well.
Okay. So yeah, if you guys all hear this, it really matters if you give a review. So yeah, give a review, also a good one. It's sad if you like break the seal of positivity. But yeah, really thank you for sharing your knowledge, and I am very curious what you are going to bring more into this world, what Starvania is going to show the world, like what your team is going to do. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much, Linda. It was really nice talking to you, and thank you for having me here. I think we have met back in maybe 2 years ago in GDC, yes. And it was a very nice coincidence, part of like Women in Games.
Yes.
And I'm excited to see you even more in the future future, like the upcoming events.
Yeah, maybe that's for other people also interesting, because I met you before even the prize or whatsoever, right? But I was like, this is really cool. You have something to share. You're so optimistic. You're such a power lady. So I was like, yes. And then I was like, wait a minute. The DEFCON stage was like, wait a minute. I know this person. So that was really cool. Very well deserved. So
thank you so much.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye bye, guys.
Thank you very much for watching this interview. I hope you learned a lot and got a lot of new inspiration for your own challenges of indie dev or life choices, because I think we covered a lot of different topics and a lot of different ones in this one. If you don't want to miss any interview, please ring the bell. And if you're nice, you can like this interview, of course. That would help me out a lot. If you want to really support my channel, you can also be a patron. If you want to win a Steam key, don't forget to check every month which Steam key you can win. So, I'm very excited for next month's interview. It's going to be a lot more spooky. It's going to be a bit more manageable. Maybe wink wink, of course. So wait for that one. See you in the next one. This was Acreates. Create more, enjoy more. Bye bye.